Hello and welcome to Curiosity Cache episode 3. I am Jeremy Hochhalter, your dungeon master for the day. I'm here with John and Katie and Chaz and Noah. Everyone say hi, just make sure that our audio is working.
Hello.
Oh no,
Hello.
Katie, you're so crackly.
Am I still crackly?
Yeah, I don't know what's
Oh
going
my
on.
gosh. No, I'm not either. Hold on.
Hello out there, Internet.
Yay! While we wait for Katie to see if she can figure that out. First, I want to say thanks to Astral Tabletop for sponsoring us. That's our awesome virtual tabletop system that we have here. And not necessarily a sponsor, but I'm super excited about this. So I had coffee just arrive from Found
Yeah.
Familiar. I don't know if everyone can really see this. So Found Familiar is like this D&D coffee place. There's actually a link. You can go down right now if you're on Twitch. There's a link that you can follow through and use the code WHPUBS for 10% off. But they get like freelance artists to do all of these like special artworks, and so they help pimp. That's a bad way to say it. They help spread the word about all of these freelance artists, and I think it smells so good. I'm so excited to try this. Anyway, I just got
That
done.
artist,
I wanted to share.
That artist just posted on D&D art on Facebook not so long ago.
Yeah, and so I actually know about that artist because the artist that I use for a lot of my, actually the artist who did all of the little guys, like all of your guys' art for your characters, except for Decim, is Tamara Thrift, and she's friends with Kooks, who did this art. They play a game together, and that's actually Kooks' character, but Kooks does art for Savos, who is Tamara's character as well, and they post them on that Facebook group. So, Katie, how's your audio?
Is that any better? I'm not needed anymore, I don't think. Am I okay?
We can try it.
Okay. Let's see.
All right, go ahead and say something.
Is this better?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that way better? Yeah.
Way
Okay.
better. Awesome. All
Okay,
right.
cool.
So when we ended last game, well, let's back up just a little bit. Near the end of last game, there were some intruders in the Curiosity Cache, the store that everyone works in, and during that break-in, the characters ran down to find out what was going on. And as Decim and Braca ran into the front room, they noticed some people who were standing around the giant statue that they'd been trying to figure out what to do with. Those people looked just as confused on how to move it, and they got the feeling that Braca and Decim got the feeling that these people were here to steal this item. So they confronted them. Didn't turn into a battle, but Decim managed to kind of scare them away with his sales tactics. Does that sound about right?
Well, I wouldn't scare is a strong word. Just more like entice them to come back with coin.
Sure.
Yes. Actual coin.
And so while that was happening, in the workshop, Friede and Pratchya had just encountered this orc woman. Some combat ensued, and Pratchya took a table leg to the face. While that happened, Friede jumped down, or tackled the orc woman, knocked her over, or no, somebody knocked her over the table. She fell over, and as she went to run away, Friede used his stabby stab.
Yeah.
Stabby stab.
Mm-hmm.
And she fell down and is now bleeding out all over the floor. Pratchya went to run out to see what was going on, and as she opened the door, she realized that statue was gone because for some reason it literally disappeared while Decim and Braca were standing there watching those intruders leave. So as we start, just set the scene a little here. Friede, you're standing they're watching this pool of blood spread out from this orc woman. It's dark. There's a little bit of firelight from the fires that are out in the courtyard, kind of flickering through the door. You can hear a stringed instrument softly being played out there, and all of a sudden, your arm just begins to throb, and you can like feel your icy flesh kind of harden, like more than it already is. Like it stiffens.
Oh.
And that you can see in the dark. Is that correct?
I don't think I have dark vision. No.
Okay, perfect. So that the little bit of light that's coming in from the outside, that little bit of like filtered firelight, actually dims, and you notice that your symbol, because you're in the buff, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming so because you jumped out of bed. So you're standing there, and that symbol just like starts pulsing, and in your head, you hear these sounds that remind you of ice cracking and like some of the frozen areas from where you're from, like when ice shelves break off and there's avalanches. But it seems more like less snow, but you know that same deep rumbling noise just fills your head, and it doesn't sound like words, but you understand it at the same time, and it wants you to take your knife, your little dagger, and carve the symbol that appears in your mind into the orc.
Oh, God damn it. I'm going to assume that like that avalanche crashing ice thing is a scary sound, being made of ice and all.
Yeah.
Okay. And Pratchya is like no longer here, so I don't have any of my homies like within like arm's reach.
Correct.
Yeah, so then we're just gonna start carving because I don't know what's going on, but
sure,
we're just gonna give it a shot.
So as you like start carving into her flesh, it ends up being this kind of circular symbol, and it doesn't really, you don't recognize it. It's a circular symbol, and then in the center there's this strange like whorl, like a little spiral, and then coming off of that are all of these not tentacles, but like these lines that kind of swirl around before they reach the edge of the circle. Gotcha. And as you finish that, you step back, and the scent of salt water just smacks you in the face, and black briny water starts to bubble out of the orc where you carved that symbol.
Ooh. And
starts to like flow around her. Meanwhile, up front, Pratchya, so you just walk through the door, and this statue is gone. Bracca's walking up. Actually, I think Bracca is walking back out with you.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, Pratchya, and just make a Constitution save. That's not bad. So as the adrenaline kind of wears off and you walk out and you see that the statue's gone, and you're just like kind of dumbfounded as to what's going on, you start getting really lightheaded. Uh-oh. Whose turn is it this time? So for those of you who missed this on the first round, sorry, hang on one sec.
I can't hear Pratchya at all. I can't hear Catie at all.
Okay, thanks. But you can hear everyone else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah.
I think she's quiet now. We'll see. So I think we lost Pratchya. We did.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
All right, so
Jeremy, is your dog psychic and able to tell when we're about to have a technical difficulty?
right, I think it's true. I think she can.
Yeah.
Well,
So
let's see.
I think
Last
we
time. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say last time Catie actually rolled, so this time Noah. Noah, go ahead and roll any die.
All right. You know what kind of dice we rarely get to roll? D12s.
It's true.
Ooh.
A 1. Yeah, so when she comes back. Well, actually, since she's not here, this is perfect. Braca, so as you're walking out with Pratchya, all of a sudden she just kind of like stumbles and she puts her hand out to grab that table that's off to the right.
Uh-oh.
And she just completely misses the table as she goes down, and her
Oh,
head
no.
bounces off the edge of that table,
Ooh.
and she crumples to the floor.
All right. I
What
want
do
to
you
check her
do?
out to see if I can do anything.
As you kneel down, there is like a good trickle of blood coming out of her skull where she bounced her head off of it. Do you want to make a medicine check?
Yeah, as I'm looking around for anything to possibly treat the wound.
Nothing down here. A 16. That's good though. Oh, so Catie messaged and everything froze, so we will keep an eye out for her to come back. Let me message her.
Does she appear to be bleeding out of her head only, or does she seem to be wounded in a broader sense?
So, from what you can see, you can definitely see that she has like a trickle of blood coming down her face from her head. You don't see any other injuries. And Braca, with your medicine check, you definitely feel like, man, I mean, you didn't see it, but she has this, you didn't see what caused it, but she has this huge welt on her face that's just turning dark purple. As you kind of like gently feel it to make sure that, you know, there's nothing that you can do. You're essentially trying to figure out what's going on and see if there's anything you can do about it. Like, it might be shifting around a little, like the bone might be shifting around, so it might have cracked in her face.
Oh, no.
Good God.
So yeah, she definitely got wailed pretty hard. And I think you noticed the orc woman that was laying on the floor back there, so you know why.
Yep.
Decim, are you doing anything?
She needs the salve of closure. When you have a hole, this will slap it on, and it will stop the flow of whatever. Broken pottery, slap it on. Broken cup, slap it on. Broken skull, slap it on. So he'll go grab the salve and the little patch thing that clearly is going to be the solution to this hole in her head.
It was definitely a solution to something.
Yeah, he may sample a little bit of it as he's walking over there just to make sure it's the right compound.
Yeah, are you sure this is... Decim, are you sure this is actually going to help? We've seen what happens with some of your compounds. And remember, we're dealing with friends here, not intruders.
Oh, for friends, it's free.
Yes, but you want them to stay your friends, so you give them the stuff that actually helps.
These are friends, not customers.
Oh. Decim's not really sure what to do, really. He will run back for the Dr. Zagini's Feel No Pain No More liquid elixir and bring that back over. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, if you're feeling the pain, then you shouldn't be feeling the pain. Dr. Zagini's pain no more. Feel it no more. Act now.
Is it because you feel all these other sensations across your body?
Desm is not entirely sure what you mean by that. But he'll say, "Look, it's perfectly safe," and he'll take a draw of the salve.
Sticks his nose
Look.
in the jar.
I still have my teeth.
So Braca, are you going to try and interpose yourself or stop him, or are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to look for something that seems like, sorry, I don't know if there's any other way to say this, but more legitimate medical supplies.
What does Brokaw mean by legitimate? What does that mean?
Sorry, let me rephrase. Things that I would recognize from my culture as, sometimes when someone falls off the caravan, you know how to treat those injuries a little bit. It normally doesn't require unusual salve, so I'm going to look for something else.
Okay. You do know that
Hello?
there's a cupboard upstairs that has like some generic first aid stuff like bandages, stuff like that.
Yes,
that's
what I'd be looking for.
This is definitely a business, so he's required by OSHA to have some kind of stuff on hand.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed.
So while you guys are figuring this out, Desm, you hear somebody kind of approach from outside, and you hear
Which side of the building?
the front door that's kind of hanging open from where the intruders kicked it open. What in their flight out, not trying to get in, that was them fleeing from you, they kicked it open. And you hear, hello? Is anybody in there?
Yes, it is after hours, but for you, my friend, we shall have a deal. Come inside and browse the wares. Wares from all over. Wares for you. Wares for us to give to you for a good price. He'll look at Braca and wait, is Braca still there?
I think Braca is getting ready to go upstairs. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm either getting ready to go upstairs or I already went. It's entirely up to you.
Gotcha. So you are getting ready to head upstairs. Sorry, I'm grabbing this guy's icon. Wall. And the guy that was playing the tri-lute over at the Plentiful Cup, he is standing outside kind of looking in the door. Like there's no light and he's human, so like he's kind of standing in that pool of light that's out there. I saw somebody running off. I just wanted to make sure you're okay.
Happy customers, always happy to be here and to run and tell their friends, look, you're here now. What are you looking for? We have everything, a little bit of everything to please all crowds.
He walks in and is kind of squinting to see you as you're speaking. Okay. Well, I just wanted to let you know I'm sorry for what happened earlier. He's not usually that. No, he is. He really is that annoying. I apologize.
Yeah, we get it. Musicians. Certain musicians, sorry.
I mean, yeah, there is that, but we're just trying to make a living, and he just makes some really bad choices sometimes and ends up getting us into more trouble than the trouble we were already in. And then we have to leave town and we don't get paid. But at least we, made a little bit of money off of it. Is there a woman on the floor?
She's
What's
sleeping.
What's going on? Why?
It's time to sleep. It's fine. Would you like to browse the wares?
Yeah, she may have had a few,
Sorry, hang one sec. Let me. Katie's having a hard time getting back into the chat.
with the massive statue not in there, I feel like our store is so empty now.
It is so
It
empty.
is. Because we don't have a lot of stuff to sell. Because there used to be something in that southeast corner, but, well, apparently torture device you can sell.
I mean, who doesn't need a torture device?
And like,
Well,
I don't know if you guys were watching the Curious Talk earlier with Katie, but you guys are in Shelzar, and that's actually not that weird that would have been the item that was remaining in there that sold. Let's see if that worked. Katie, I can see you're joined. Can you hear us? I don't think she can. While we're waiting for that to happen, in the workroom, Friede, as this black water oozes out of the orc,
Mm-hmm.
it begins to envelop her, and you notice it's just enveloping her and not like spilling out onto the ground. And you hear like chewing noises coming from it,
Ugh.
and like some like slurping and like weird uncomfortable noises. And you even notice like a little pseudopod like snakes out and begins to like suck up the blood that was on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this goes on for like a good minute. And then the water just kind of like begins to shrink and shrink, and it looks like it's pulling back into where that spot was where it came out of.
Right.
But when it's gone, there is no orc there.
Uh-huh. So I tried to heal her. I did.
I
But
mean,
she also hit Pratchya in the head with a table, so I'm not too upset.
that's fair.
I'm disturbed at how things went down. But I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to like gain composure or of like what I just saw with the drawing and then the like eating of the body with the black blood thing.
Yeah.
And as soon as I'm able, which could take an hour, I don't know how long it's gonna take for me to like comprehend that. I'm gonna turn around. So I'm gonna do some like deep breathing and okay. One problem at a time.
I think we're going to have to do the stats up for a counselor, some kind of psychiatrist in Shelzar that you can go talk to.
Yeah, because I
mhm.
don't know how you like work through that.
Yeah.
I wanted to heal her, and then something said draw a thing, so I did, and then there was the sound, and it was like eating the blood, and
Yeah. It was a little disturbing.
you said I could understand it. Did it?
You could not understand.
I
Like
could not
it didn't
understand.
sound like it was words, but it was more like you were getting
The intention?
Yeah,
behind?
absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna. And my arm like less stiff? Is that still like rigid?
A little less, but not. It doesn't feel like it did before.
Gotcha. Okay, if it's done what it's doing, I'm gonna back out slowly,
Okay.
and then if nothing happens, then I'll exit and possibly trip over Pratchya.
Okay. So you're going into the front room then.
Yeah.
So I see that Pratchya is back. Can you say hi, Katie?
Hello. Can you hear me?
We can.
Awesome.
Your audio's back to being weird again, but we'll roll with it. I think we're having a day. So, Katie,
Yep.
you are, or Pratchya is unconscious. While so Friede, that door swings both ways. Do you push it or pull it?
Well, I was backing out, so I assume I'm gonna like push it at
Push it,
first,
yeah.
and then
So as you back out, I'm assuming you're not like rushing out if you're just kind of like
no.
watching and everything.
Yeah.
The door definitely like has a thud, like it sticks against something. And Braca, you can tell all of a sudden, yeah.
All right, I'll slowly like do that one of the thing where you like open the door just enough so you can squeeze by while still keeping an eye where that thing happened.
Yeah.
Get out of the way. I have to go get bandages.
So you could squeeze yourself over to here. And you see that Pratchya's laying on the ground. There's the huge welt on her face from where the orc hit her with the table leg.
Right.
But there's also like this just bleeding gash on her forehead.
God, well, I'm definitely not going to try to help her. Last time I did, things
And
got weird.
You notice in the gloom that there's a man standing near the door. It was the guy who was playing the three-lyre over at the Plentiful Cup.
Why are you here?
I was just making sure you were all okay and to apologize for Thero's attitude earlier.
What time is it? It's like past like late night, right?
Yeah, it's pretty late in the night. Brocka, if you want to head upstairs, you can do that. You run up and you find that cupboard that has all of the. It's kind of a mismatched grouping of bandages and.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then bring it back down. And while he's gone, Decim, what are you doing?
I'm going to keep trying to sell stuff to this guy. Because clearly we're open now and we're trying new hours, and maybe that's the thing that we've been missing this whole time. And so whatever is loose and unclaimed in this store is going to be offered to him.
Yeah.
Anything, like the table, my shoes, if he wants my shoes. Anything. I just really want to make sure that I'm pulling my weight.
Yeah. So as you're walking around,
Very
like it becomes fairly obvious pretty quickly that he doesn't want any of Dr. Zagini's salves. He keeps saying no, and you know that every time you sell something, you have to get them to say no 3 times before you stop trying to sell that item to them. But look at all of the different items in here. And so after you get through all of the different Dr. Zaginis, you start moving on and you're like, hey, there's this chair over here, and here is this game table. And you keep going around, and every so often he just nods at you, but he's more concerned with Pratchya's unconscious form. And so he tends to speak more to Friede at this point.
Okay.
Friede, what do you do?
First, I'm going to place myself like right here. No, yeah, like just kind of in between this guy who just so happened to come after we were attacked, like late at night.
Okay.
And then I'll engage him in conversation while I'm trying to ascertain just kind of his intention, because he says he came here to like apologize, but yeah. I'm not so sure about that.
So you can do an insight, and he doesn't really move. He'll move into here.
Mm-hmm.
But really, that's about the edge of the light that's kind of coming in from the sign.
Gotcha.
You got an 11.
Yeah.
So he does seem nervous, but you're starting to feel like he's not nervous because of anything that his intent, more like there's no light in here. There's an unconscious woman on the floor.
Right.
The Slytherin keeps trying to sell him things. He's told him no so many times. He's like shown him his coin purse.
Mm-hmm.
And how he doesn't have it, and the Slytherin is just like not having it. So he looks nervous and starting to look a little put out, but he doesn't seem ingenuine as far as his intentions go.
Okay, well then I'll kind of talk to him. His friend is kind of dumb, and we'll I guess commiserate over that. But I'm going to stay close to Pratchya, not actually trying to help, because who knows how that's going to work, but just near.
Yeah, and you don't get any feelings that like you need to carve any symbols into anyone or anything like that right now. But
Okay.
if that sensation comes up, I'll let you know. All right, so Braca, you come back. You have the bandages. I assume you're going to wrap her head up.
Yes.
Okay. So you do notice like a good amount of blood has definitely oozed out of the sore or the cut on her forehead.
Mhm.
You're not really sure what to do as far as her face goes. Like wrapping it doesn't really help, so it's not bleeding. So you wrap the bulk of the bandages around her head, and like you do notice like right away the first couple layers just soak through. So you just kind of wrap some more around. Pratchya, make me a con save.
Yeah.
Pratchya, Pratchya, Pratchya.
Not crash this time. It's fine.
And while she's doing that, I'm going to finish my explanation from earlier because I completely spaced out and went off topic. But if no one has caught this yet, and we haven't explained it during the game, when my dog barks, because she probably will, we're going to do this thing where somebody rolls a die. And if it is odd, something random and bad is going to happen. If it's even, something like a boon will happen, something good will happen. So far, nothing but bad things have happened. But Pratchya, as you're laying there, you start to come around and your head is just throbbing in pain. Like you start opening your eye and just the little bit of light that's coming in from the front door makes you nauseous. Like you just want it to be dark. You want the sound of that. Whoever keeps talking, whoever's trying to sell something, Chaz, roll any die.
Let's just go down the D10 this time.
And it's an odd.
This is how we die.
At least it's not a 1, right?
So, Pratchya, as you're laying there and this throbbing pain is happening, you can't help it. You just turn and throw up all over Braca.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
Like anyone who has ever had a head injury knows exactly what I'm talking about, but like she just cannot stop it. She manages to like turn on her side and most of it goes on the floor, but pretty violent expulsion of today's food. Pratchya, make me one more con save.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Let's see. Hopefully high. Maybe.
Let's go for high.
Let's go for high. Yeah, that'd be nice. Here we go.
A 5.
Yeah.
Yay!
It's not high.
You do end up passing back out, and she just kind of slumps forward. Braca, you notice most of the
I'm out my system now. It's fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Braca, most of the vomit is out of her mouth, but she just kind of like lays in it. And Bana over here, he just can't help himself. He moves forward and is like, okay, that is not normal.
No.
I'll be right back. And he kind of jogs out.
Do you know a doctor?
I'll bring help.
Decim looks devastated.
Well, he did not get the sale.
But he's coming back.
Sure.
He's coming back with more people, still more selling.
Right?
Yeah. Hopefully those people are cheap though.
Yeah.
So while he runs over there, we're going to take a short break from the game, and I am going to say that I was going to give away a copy of Yugman's Guide to Gelsbad Part 1. So what I'm going to do now is start our bot on the channel. Bum-ba-da-bum. Announce. So it should say now on the channel. Yep. If you are interested in winning a PDF from Drive-Thru RPG, Yugman's Guide to Gelsbad Part 1, type #Yugman in the chat, and at the end we'll draw and see who wins. So coming back to the plight of Pratchya, Bracco, what do you do?
Well, I guess he's probably on the level about bringing help. So, we're gonna try to clean Pratchya up a bit, and also, I don't want the idea of the vomiting. I'm suddenly thinking about this green skull and thinking that might not be the best thing for Pratchya to see because it may lead to more vomiting.
Right.
So, I would just try and move that somewhere.
Okay. You actually could just like. You probably don't have enough bandages left. I was gonna say you could just throw some bandages over it, but
Yeah, because I'm starting to feel like I can't quite do enough to actually fix the real problem, so I want to fix like some fake ones.
okay. So you kind of move it off to the side behind this vase right here to
Mhm.
hide it for now. Friede, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna put like my hand on the like broken bits. In the
On her
hopes that-
face?
Yeah, my right hand, the like non-weird one,
Gotcha.
just to like maybe the ice will like reduce the swelling or help.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I guess I'll just keep an eye out until this guy comes back. If he comes back,
And Decim, what are you doing?
Decim has just not had any luck tonight. Giving away samples, Prosh is sleeping, everybody's awake, but no one's selling anything. So Slytherin have to do all the work himself. And so he's going to go over to the Dr. Zagini's display and pop open a tube of hair growth gel and munch on some of that for a little while he tries to get himself a bit of a fix so he can brace himself for the new customers coming.
Sure. I need to make sure I'm grabbing the right person here. Where are you? Nope. There she is. All right, so after a few moments, the woman who is playing the drums in the small trio comes back with Bana,
hey, I remember you.
and she looks around. She's like, what the hell is that smell?
That would be the mold. I mean, it's an old shop. And we try to keep it best. Oh, the vomit. Yeah, no, there's also vomit.
No, it's not. Oh yeah, there is. Oh yeah. Yeah, there is vomit, but it's like a sickening winter green. And she smells Decim and she's like, oh.
You want some?
No. But she'll walk by. Do you have any light in here?
Yes.
There is the big chandelier that hangs down the middle and is no longer like upended by the giant statue. So somebody could light the lantern or
Bracco will see if he can go up and light it.
Okay. So as he lights that, she sees Pratchya over here and she'll come over and she kneels down and she opens like a little pouch that has several vials in it. And looking at Friede, she asks, what happened?
And so I'll explain at least what I saw. Like I came down and she was finding this orc. I definitely saw her got hit with a massive like tree trunk. And I guess
A tree
when she
trunk?
came, I mean, to me that was a tree trunk. It was like, bigger than me, I assume. And I think when she came in, she must have just maybe she fainted. I don't know. Like she got hit pretty hard.
So she kind of like looks at the bandaging and stuff. And she pulls out this little vial of, it's kind of a reddish liquid. It seems to have something floating in it, but Friede, it's hard to tell what it is. And she
Right.
tilts Pratchya's head back, and Friede, you can hear like this grinding sound coming from like her face.
Oh god.
Oh.
Yeah. But
Oh,
she pours the liquid down Pratchya's throat. And now I need to remember how to roll dice. Actually, let's just do it this way. Pratchya, you're gonna get 7 hit points back.
Yay!
Oh,
yes.
Friede, as you're watching, you notice the huge black welt where the table leg hit her fades. It's definitely still there, and it's dark, like kind of a dark purple, but it doesn't look nasty anymore. And as Amaria is checking, like she's kind of feeling the bone, you don't hear that grinding sound anymore.
Hey!
And Pratchya kind of blinks her eyes open.
What happened?
Holy crap! Are you okay?
Am I okay?
You feel a little woozy still. You have this weird, pleasant but lingering flavor in your mouth. Like you're not sure how that got there. But I mean, you definitely feel better than a few moments ago.
I feel a lot better. What did I eat or drink? Or both?
Mm.
Amaria, like checks
Why is
your.
there throw up?
Huh?
Why is there barf next to me?
Oh,
That
Did I do that?
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm gonna have to clean that. Where's the statue?
Hey, we have some good news for you. We got-
No! What good news? I mean, my mouth tastes good. That's good news. What else is good news? Not the statue gone. That's not good news. Where's the skull?
the skull's just behind there. I was afraid you were gonna
Okay.
wake, like you woke up for a bit and saw something and puked, and I was afraid it was the skull. So I just moved the skull. It's okay. The skull is still here. It's in one piece.
I woke up and puked. That's my puke.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wanna establish
like-
that.
Like I think you might have got hurt in some fight in the other room, and then you came in here, and then all of a sudden, like you kind of slipped and hit your head, and went to sleep for a little bit, woke up, puked, went back to unconsciousness.
Okay. Friede, why don't you not have your clothes on?
I mean, I don't ever have my clothes on at like when it's just us.
Yeah, but it's not just us.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't say that. Like, I didn't know they were coming. Like, I was asleep, and then we heard like yelling, and I like ran down, and
Yeah.
I saw you find the.
Where's the guy with the hood? The hood guy.
Yeah, where's
Friede,
that
you saw
guy?
him. Where's the hood guy?
Braca, did you see him?
The hood guy, that was the one who freed. What is that the one who you were standing on last time, or was there someone else?
So I'm going to make a very obvious like look at those two people who are not like within the inner circle and be like, she ran away.
Gotcha.
She ran away. I don't know where she is.
Friede, you're just not like the greatest at catching up to people, or yeah, no, you that's right, that's right. I was screaming for help, and you went up and you helped get the bandages, and that's why she got away.
She got away in that whole like fracas. But at least we like scared her off, so that was a good thing.
Well, she can't have gone anywhere fast.
Right, but we probably shouldn't chase her considering what she did. We should like
Yeah,
regroup
but
and-
she has our statue. We have to. I mean, there's more of us now. We're all together. Should we not?
I want to do the thing where you like count like how many fingers to be like to see how good Pratchya is.
Sure.
Are you sure you're okay? Like how many fingers am I holding up?
What does
I don't
Pratchya
know.
do? So
That
Pratchya,
was like 5 at one point, and then 3 and 2 at the beginning.
Actually, pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many that was. What you were intending. Mm.
so
Am I okay?
Pratchya, you noticed that Amaria is the woman that was playing the drums over in the little band, and she's like very intently like watching you. She'll look over at Braca. Friede will speak, and you notice she like purposefully does not look at Friede, and you get the feeling that like she finally realized when you said something that the Eshik is standing there naked, and so she's just like making sure you're okay, but is like not looking at Friede.
Yep.
That's harsh.
So if everything is okay, I'm gonna go back outside.
Okay. I think I'm better now.
Thank you so much for your help.
Outside.
Yeah, thank you so much, both of you.
Don't ask
Thank
why
you.
Friede doesn't like wearing clothes.
Bana says, "Well, thank you for being understanding about Thero. He that whole situation could have gone much better, but it could have gone worse, and we really only have you to thank for that. So thank you." And they will leave. Dun, 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 dun.
So during that exchange,
Yeah.
just as an aside, and I sent you a message on
Oh.
this super secret message thing.
Let me see what this says. Hang on one sec.
I just couldn't help myself. It just has to happen. She mentioned plural and
Yeah.
linking and plural.
And that was your perception check, correct?
Yeah.
You were. There's like this haze rising up from your snout that's like coming off of the remnants of the goop that was in the jar you were eating. And it's just, you don't really notice what was going on over there.
It's more the clink that was interesting. I mean, I'm sure everything over there is fine with them, but what was that clinky thing? Or is that just kind of maybe it was the sound of something else in my head? It's possible that
clinky thing.
Yeah, what you said there was a clink. She opened a bag and there was some clinky sounds, some very familiar kind of sound. She pulled out a vial of something from a bag full of clinky things.
I didn't realize I said clinky things. I can go back and review the audio.
I
know. As you get closer and you're actually like looking for what she was doing, you don't see where she took it from, but you see like the empty vial that was in her hand after she like poured its contents to Pratchya, like in Pratchya's mouth. So you could do that with the empty bottle.
Not as useful, but noted where that came from.
It was probably on her person somewhere.
Yep, noted.
Okay. Anybody want to do anything else?
Once they're gone,
okay,
I will explain in detail why we shouldn't chase the orc because she's been gobbled up by it. So I'll explain the whole like weirdness and the sound, and then I tried to help, and I drew a circle thinking that might help, and then it went the complete opposite direction.
Gotcha. Well, that was very honest of you.
Like, I think, like, I'm gonna be honest with them, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we probably shouldn't chase her, because if we found her, we'd be in the wrong place.
Does that kind of marking sound familiar?
You can do an Arcana check. It definitely sounds like what he's describing, where he said he like carved something. It sounds like a magical sigil of some kind. It's not something you've seen before, with the company you have kept wouldn't use such a thing.
All of the company I've kept.
Yeah. It sounds similar, but from a different source, if that makes sense. Like definitely magical, but not the kind of magic that you are somewhat familiar with. Braca, what are you doing?
So, after a long pause and trying to keep dinner in, which you probably all would have seen, Braca's going to ask Friede, so how are you feeling right now after all this?
Well, not great. But
Hey, Braca, make me a perception check.
Okay.
And this will be what he sees or doesn't see. Okay, what he does see will be while you're talking. So go ahead and continue talking.
gotcha.
And tell me what you say.
I'm actually only really like comprehending what happened now because I was like trying to make sure everyone's okay. My arm still feels weird, and I kind of want this day to be over.
That's fair. So Braca, while he's talking, now that the chandelier is lit and there's like kind of light diffusing throughout the room, you can see there is like the series of reflections in Friede's arm where the mark is, that wasn't there before. It almost like from where you're standing, it looks almost like the ice is cracked. But as he moves his arm around while he's talking, it kind of like shimmers, so it doesn't look like that always, like as the crack is essentially straight on with you, you don't notice it, but if it turns, it reflects a bit of light at you.
And do I get any sense as I'm talking to Friede that he's noticed this yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, I don't think I want to be the one to tell him.
That is completely fair. Pratchya, while Friede is explaining how he's feeling, what are you doing?
I'm listening and looking for a mop to clean up the vomit.
I'm going to give you inspiration for being the first one to think of getting a mop.
Well,
my store, I got to keep it clean. My store, sort of, my store. So I go and I assume there's a mop in the back somewhere.
There is, yeah. You'll be able to grab one.
Okay, I grab one. I fill the bucket with water and soap/lye, and come back out to where my vomit is and start cleaning as Friede explains his weird encounter with an orc that turned into goo. And I turn and look at him. And I was like, well, I'm just glad you didn't do the symbol on me and did it on the other orc.
Of course I wouldn't do this. And she was a bad orc. If anyone had to be gooified, I'm glad it's her.
I think that is the technical term, gooified.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how, when, what. I mean, I know when, but that's it.
Okay.
So my question to you, Friede, is did you feel anything different when this happened? Like, did anything weird happen other than you felt like you needed to draw, or you drew a symbol because you wanted to help, and bad things happened?
I heard sound noises, like crashing ice. And I think that's how I knew to draw the thing.
Okay. You don't normally hear crashing ice.
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I found this on the web.
What did you find on the web?
But I mean, like, I just saw you got hit, like, I think I got kicked or hit or something. Like it was a lot of like emotions were going. I don't know. I just like did what came naturally.
Kind of simple.
Seems less than natural, but like in the moment, it felt like clear as day. This is what you do.
Okay.
Had you ever seen this symbol in your head before?
No, right?
Correct.
This is-
You have not
yeah.
seen this symbol before.
No, I don't know what. I'm not even sure I can recall it now.
Can you try? Do we have something to write on?
Do I want to try? That sounds like a. What do we not want?
I was just looking for a piece of paper.
The green skull is worthless if you wanted to etch it into that.
Dear God, no. I'm not gonna try.
Was that
That's
a
the other reason I hit the skull.
was that a matter of the DM is suggesting it? We are not doing that.
That's a matter of like drawing a thing that like gooified an orc on a old demon skull. Like those two things, I don't think should be in contact, or maybe they should, but just not yet.
That is completely fair. Yeah. So Decim, despite the fact that they lit the chandelier, like the candelabra that hangs from the ceiling, you're pretty sure that, and the doors are still open, but business is probably done for tonight. What are you doing?
Well, if business is done, and they're talking about some sort of, I don't know, that it seems pretty high level sort of conversation there. He's casually listening, as it's important to practice your Lydian for sure. He's going to poke around at these other items that are still here. Some things need to be dusted. Maybe the displays need to be adjusted. Maybe certain items need to be next to other items to make some items look more appealing. You know, just by association with each other.
Right.
That way, you'll buy like both of them at the same time because they don't want to be separated.
You're actually pleasantly surprised because despite the fact that like you start like dusting and when you start dusting that there's not going to be anything to dust because you guys have been doing nothing else but dusting and cleaning and standing around for many days at this point. But all of a sudden you find dust because probably when that giant statue disrupted things like the chandelier and everything, the dust was like settling everything. So you get super happy that there is stuff to do and you start like polishing the wood of the table over here and rearranging things, and that giant vase that's on the right there, you realize that needs to like be crawled in to be able to get to the bottom, and no one has been dusting. Yeah. No one has been dusting in there, which is appalling to you.
I mean, we had one job, guys. We had one job.
It's true.
And I will totally get inside that vase, and I'm going to clean the interior of that vase to the best of my ability until I pop my head out with a finger aloft on one of my paws. We could find out what people are buying on a daily basis by just sending out friends who know friends who can ask friends about their friends.
That's a great idea. Decim. Better
There are
than
many
some
friends
of the
here.
ones- There are many friends, including the ones that visited tonight. We're probably friends of friends of friends of friends of friends of friends of friends.
Oh, the friends live in other friends' houses, kind of like us, but more of them.
Yes, or maybe the friends that didn't purchase the statue in the first place. Well, did, but then didn't pay for it. and then we had it there, and then we couldn't move it, and then the friends came and then took our statue. Sorry, it's not you, Dustin. It's absolutely friends.
Mel, you talked about friends and friends and friends too many times that I got lost as a character.
It's fine. We're all lost.
Oh no, Desmond has many friends who live in the city who know everybody. They see everybody and they talk to everybody.
Okay.
We could ask them if they know who wants to buy things or who was interested in buying the statue. They bought the statue. It's not here.
Desmond, how can you get in contact with your friends?
Yeah, that actually might be really useful.
Oh, the dumpster is the good place to start.
Are they
I'm
there
sorry.
now, or should we go tomorrow?
Meh. I mean, if they're awake, then they'll be there. If they're not awake,
So we
well,
can
then
go
the cat got them.
So we can go tomorrow then.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Alright.
If tomorrow
Okay.
is better.
Okay.
Dustin, are you talking about talking to rats or Slytherin? Because you said a
They're
cat
different.
got them.
Oh,
Well-
cats are bad. Especially the big cats. Have you been with a big cat? Big cats are bad. Humans, orcs. Oh no, they can't fight the big cats. The big cats will get you.
Yes. Cats are bad.
Do you mean like the big cat who came in earlier or some bigger cat?
Oh, bigger than the big cat.
2 legs
Yeah.
or 4?
What?
I'm talking about the Manticora who came in earlier, who you're trying to sell something to.
Oh, the talking
cat
cat.
person. Yes.
Yes. Yes, that cat can talk.
Uh-huh.
But
the
these
big cats
other
usually
cats.
can't talk. No, they are also big, like that cat who could talk, but also bigger, and usually on all of their legs instead of 2.
Okay. So
Got it.
your friends hang out in a dumpster,
Mm.
and is it just big cats or like big cats that would eat them?
Well, probably both. I mean, big cats eat everything.
But like could big cats eat them, or could only big cats eat them?
Both? Both.
Both could eat them. Okay, so even like this big cat could eat them, like
Yes.
this size. Okay.
But cats this
Alright.
size can also eat us if they are motivated.
And hungry enough.
If we are on the ground, then maybe they could eat us. But more normally cats, they can't eat people like us. Like, not normally, unless they're super motivated.
Motivation does a lot of things to people and cats. Mhm.
Just don't try to do the whole whipping thing to motivate a horse. It doesn't work with me, okay?
Have you tried to whip a cat? Does not play well.
So, okay, so you can talk to rats
Friends.
and ask them friends and ask them questions about the city. Okay. Could you potentially ask your friends if they know where a hooded man with a small statue that looks like our big statue but is now small again might have gone if they were awake during this time?
Yes. They can get all sorts of data for us. They like to collect data, and they will help us sell things.
Oh, okay. All right. We can try it. I'll try anything.
Pratchya, despite like getting the healing potion and everything, like your head is still pounding, and
Yeah.
probably best to leave this like dealing with this until tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
You're pretty sure you're understanding what Decim is saying, but at the same time, you're just like, maybe I should just go to bed.
Yeah. So do you guys, is there anything, I'm gonna go to bed. Good night, everybody. If you could lock up, make sure the sign is still there. Make sure that sign hasn't been taken. Good night. Goodbye. Good night. I'm gonna go, Pratchya's gonna go back upstairs
Okay.
at this point. Yeah. Sounds like a great idea. After mopping.
What? I'm assuming this conversation has been taking place while you've been mopping.
While she's mopping.
Right.
Yes, it has.
He was
Yep.
dusting and everyone was doing things. Does anyone want to, while that was happening, take care of the front door?
I'll check the front door.
So you pull them closed, and the lock is definitely busted. So you can close the door, but there's nothing like keeping it shut.
Shut.
So,
Can Braca try and check out the lock?
sure.
Try to tinker a little repair into that.
Let's do an intelligence check.
Is this intelligence with tinkering? Oh wait, I don't think I actually. Yeah, if we have tinker tools around, I might be able to get a slightly better chance.
Sure. 9. It is broken in the way that like there are parts that are sheared, so you feel like it needs to be replaced as opposed to fixed.
I'm used to seeing this many, many times. So it'll be a little hard for Braca to go to sleep, but he'll go to bed.
Okay. Is Friede calling it a night?
Is there like a rope nearby or something that I could just like kind of like pull the door taut and do something so it doesn't just like fly open?
Yeah, you have some stuff down in the cellar you could go down and get and bring back up.
I'll do like a makeshift thing. It just needs to like stay closed for like 4 hours, and then I'll come down early and kind of do stuff down here.
Okay. And Decim?
It might make sense just to kind of put out feelers, see what the friends are up to. Partly to see what's happening with those last people who just left our shop. Partly to find out if they could keep eyes on that lady with the bag. And also partly just to see how they're doing, because life, I'm sure, is great living out there in that trash heap.
Gotcha. So where are your friends?
Well, I mean, the inn across the way is clearly the best place to start. Doing the rounds as I'm up. Not to run a whole bunch of extra scenes talking with rats, but do a general run around for the next hour or so before I go back to bed.
Yeah. So do
collecting
a
information.
not sure which one I want you to do. Do a survival check to see if you can track down some rats. Nice. So you kind of walk around the street a little bit, up and down the street that you're on in the block. And what is your passive perception?
It's probably 11, more than likely.
Okay.
It is indeed 11.
11. Okay. So you're walking around and you're looking for any signs of rats, because unless they're in their nest, they may not be where you often like run into them. So
Right.
You're kind of walking around and looking for them, and you do find some like spoor and stuff, and so you follow that, and you find some trash that's been set out, and you're not sure what the building is because you haven't really gone this way before. But rooting around through the trash are 2 fairly large brown rats.
So I think this ability is more like dancing, basic gestures. I don't think it's actual physical speech. Per
Which one is
se.
it? What's the ability?
It's the off the rats thing. Where are you?
Is it from the Slytherin?
Oh, rodent empathy. You can
Okay.
converse with rodents through body language and simple sounds, communicating simple ideas to such beasts. So to keep it simple, I'm going to ask them about this cloaked person. Have they seen little baby-sized person like this, but he's made of rock and not edible? Can't eat it, but it's this big. It has gone away. It is not in my nest anymore. And also the lady who makes the sounds on the disc that goes like bumpa, bumpa, bumpa. She has a nest that she carries that I want to see what's inside. I live over there.
So
Come over sometime.
they do their dancing around and movement to communicate back to you. They're not sure who this lady is that you're talking about that makes the noise, but they'll watch for her.
She's in the warm place where the sounds and people are, where the food is not outside, but inside and still hot.
There are many of those.
This one in particular is near my nest, which smells like this. And I'll produce a wintergreen smell from my breath.
Okay. They're pleased with you. They will see if they can find her. And the other person with the rock, same thing. Don't know who that person is. Do you have any clues you can give them?
I don't think I saw him, to be honest, but Pratchya said something about a person with a hood, which is like everybody in town, or at least any discerning politician here. So it's a person who covers their face and has a baby, but it's made of stone. But sometimes it's a big person, like 2 or 3 times the normal size of a person, and sometimes it's a baby made of stone like this.
Okay.
But
we will watch for the
smells,
stone baby.
It also smells like my nest.
Okay. If they find anything, they will come to your nest and let you know.
And I will feed them, and we will have a party.
Excellent.
I forgot we smeared your tonic on it.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
Right?
Yeah, so I'll go back having, I would tell them to tell their friends, and all their friends, and their cousins, and their sisters, and their
sisters,
grandmothers.
brothers, cousins.
Anyone who happens to be around and alive, they should all know about all of this stuff and spread the word. Like telephone game, I'm sure will go over really well. What they need to know, and the most important part is that there is food reward for any positive return of information.
Excellent. They are very excited.
Yep. There'll be a little high five, among the rats.
Absolutely,
here.
yeah.
Yep. And
After you're done.
Back to what?
What was that?
You said after I was done what?
What you were about to say.
Oh yeah, go back, and I feel pretty satisfied having done a good day's work. Even though I sold nothing, samples went out. The family's been called. We'll get something done here. It'll be good.
Excellent. John, just roll a d20 for me.
That sounds foreboding. I don't like it.
No, it'll be fine. I'm sure. Okay. So you I'm assuming how do you want to deal with getting in? Like, when you left, did you let Friede know you were leaving?
Yeah, I don't think forward very well. Did I get locked out?
Yeah. And like as you pull in the door, you can see like it's tied shut on the other side.
It's not the first time. I know my place. I will lay down in front of the door.
Okay.
Off to the side so I'm not stepped on. But I understand. I accept this.
Make me one more perception check.
Where is the sheet? Where's the perception? $13.
So sometime during the night, some voices wake you, and you're kind of in that dream haze, and you open your eyes and you see a couple of people down the street, and they're standing in shadows, so it's hard to make them out. You do hear the clink of a bag of coins being handed over, and then some whispered conversation, and then both of them leave. You get the feeling both of them were men, and they were both speaking Chilzari.
No idea what they said. Yeah.
So
it's a complicated language. I mean,
it is.
But I know Shazari that they talk in the here.
Do you do anything, or I don't want to like move on if you're gonna go chasing after anyone.
Oh no, I mean like transactions in Shazari in the middle of the street is pretty common. So I'll just lay here in the dirt for a little while longer.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, the upside is the street is fairly well. It is cobbled, first of all, and it's fairly well kept. So
it's an upgrade to some situations. So this is still pretty good. It's still luxurious comparatively to other nights. So this is good. I'm actually pretty happy.
So, Friede, when you wake up in the morning, you can hear the sounds of the city around you, and you open your eyes and you realize you're standing on the roof, and you're definitely facing out towards the bay where you found yourself yesterday morning, but you didn't manage to get out of the building. You're muted.
Muted.
Try that again.
Welcome back.
How close am I to the edge of this roof?
So let's see. Let me drop you on the roof so you can see what it looks like. Do. And you're actually up over here. And you're looking out over the courtyard towards where the sea is.
Can I do some kind of health check to see why Sleep Friede is so obsessed with the sea?
I'm trying to think of what kind of check that would be.
Yeah. Because I figure he wasn't sure that if it was a trick or sleepwalking, but this just seems odd.
Yeah, you've noticed, rather than doing a check for it, you definitely have noticed that it's been a trend as far as your random waking ups. It is increased in the frequency of occurrence since you've been here. So you arrived in Shelzar. It happened every so often, but the longer you're here, the more often it's happening. And this is actually the first time that you get the feeling that if you hadn't tied the doors shut, it's possible you would be down by the docks right now.
I locked myself in.
Well done.
Unforeseen circumstances. Okay. So I am clearly not feeling great.
Yeah. And actually, as the sun rises, you notice like this glinting in your arm that Braca saw last night. He didn't say anything to you, so it's the first time you noticed it.
Right.
It looks like almost like there's minute little cracks in the ice of your arm, and the sunlight reflects off of that as you move your arm around.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my wherever there was water, and I'm gonna stick my hand in water and hope the water like seeps in.
Gotcha.
Just like stick my hand in water because clearly I need to be near water. Maybe like it's too hot here, so maybe like I've just been in the heat too much. Maybe my ring's messing up, so I'm just gonna stick my hand in water and hope that does a thing.
So you look in. So this right here,
Yeah.
is a big bronze or brass tub.
Mm-hmm.
This is the bucket for getting the water up to it. You
Yeah.
look in those, and they're dry. Whoever last used the tub actually did empty it, which is good because letting it sit up here in the sun is not all
ideal.
that pleasant. So you can go back downstairs and essentially, I don't know if you go all the way to the top of the map, you see where I'm pinging.
Yeah.
That's a fountain.
Oh, the well. Okay.
Yeah, so there's a fountain over there, and there's a well, and that's where everyone in this complex gets their water from.
Mm-hmm.
So you could go over there and stick your arm like in the fountain, or you could like draw up some well water from the well and try that.
Yeah. Okay. So then, what I will do for the next like few minutes is pop my clothes back on, take the bucket and get some well water and bring it inside somewhere, maybe like down in the basement, and then stick my hand in and see if anything changes.
Okay. So near the center of the building, there's this trap door. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So that's the ladder that goes down. So you climb down the ladder and sorry, getting the other map back up. Doo-ba-doo. So you climb down the ladder and you end up on the second floor. While this is happening, who's an early riser of the other three players? Does Pratchya get up pretty early, or Braca, or Decim? Oh, Decim's outside. Never mind.
Yeah, I wake up whenever the city wakes up.
I would say I wake up a little bit later than normal because
Okay.
I got knocked in the face,
That's fair.
head everywhere.
Yeah.
So
So I'd say Brock is probably up a little earlier.
Okay. When Braca gets up, does he just go down and like open up the shop, or like what's his usual routine?
I think his usual routine would be, well, got to see if there's anything that needs to be fixed before the shop opens. Yeah.
Looking around, you don't feel like anything needs to be fixed. The only things that come to mind for you are you could go down and check the cellar to see whether or not the beams that hold up the floor have any damage done, like if they're still doing all right.
Oh no,
Or-
I got
or
that.
you can
I got
go
that
and-
last time.
Okay. Or you can open the front door essentially.
So I'll open the front door.
Okay. Let's put you. So you open the front door and you see Decim is curled up outside. These guys are gone. Oops.
Does
Deleted Decim.
does Decim look happily asleep or vaguely awake?
I feel like he's curled up, like trying to be comfortable, but there was nothing. There's no like mattress or anything, and so every so often you see like his back foot kind of twinge, and like his whiskers move. He doesn't look super comfortable.
But if he managed to get some sleep, I'm not necessarily sure if waking him is the best thing, or if I should just let him get another 30 minutes. I'm
Right.
trying to figure out what's the better way to be a good friend.
So as you're standing there staring at him, this Shilzari man in just resplendent robes, like you've never really seen robes like this. So you're not sure what to make of them, but I mean, they seem very shiny, very nice. He has all of this jewelry on. He has like some headwear that blocks the sun. And his clothing and his demeanor in itself grab your attention as he walks up to you. But the creature walking behind him just rips that away from you. As you realize that this kind of centaur-shaped thing is walking behind him. But imagine that instead of a horse body, it's human flesh, and then long arms essentially hold up instead of legs, and with these like weird elongated fingers. And the torso of this creature is female and is barely clad and has multiple sets of breasts instead of just one set. And its arms also have like long, strange fingers. Her face is covered with a shawl, and it's like the only part of her that is really that covered. But the man walks up to you and says, I would like to know where my order is.
Your order. First, a question for the DM.
Yeah.
Punch him.
Do I have... Does Braca have any guess of who this person is? Just by recognition?
How
Or
long
am I-
has Braca been here again? You said he's been here for like a year, right?
Yeah, a year.
And has he been employed by Belkie for about that entire time?
Yeah,
So let's do
probably about 10 months.
a history with advantage.
All right. Okay. I don't expect to roll well on history, but the dice like me.
Hooray, dice. Sorry for the delay. Nice. Okay. So you are sure that you've seen this man in the store before. He actually is a pretty regular customer of Belkie's. The last time he came in, Belkie was extraordinarily happy because of the job that he had contracted with him. This man's name is Zahir El Raouf. You remember something about a mask or something that Belkie had sent some adventurers out to retrieve for Zahir.
And just so I had that down, that was Zahir.
El Raouf.
And so, and also the creature that he's traveling with, would Braca have seen anything like her before? Or?
So he has not come to the store with her before, but you can do just do a history check at regular, no advantage. No, this thing is
There we go.
Literally, like it seems very alien to you, like
Okay.
strange, kind of discomforting.
Okay. So, so Brocka's going to start by saying, "I'm sorry, sir. You'll have to refresh my memory. What is it that you're inquiring about?"
Is Belkie in?
Not at the moment.
When does he usually arrive?
I think Brocka roughly knows when he'd usually arrive, but it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, on any given day, he's usually there before you guys wake up. But he is. You do know that he left to go retrieve an item, and he just hasn't come back yet. So
Yeah. So I'm going to say, yeah. So he left to go on a job. I hope it wasn't the job for you, but it's been a while since I've seen him. I
Well,
mean,
I hope
I-
it is the job for me, because if he's doing something else besides taking care of my business, we will have to have new arrangements made.
yeah. Then I hope it is the job he's working for you. I'm sorry. I only interact with customers of means and stature so often. Normally, I'm just kind of the person in the back doing the repairs.
Hey, John, have Decim do a perception check for me.
Perceiving.
Yeah, so with as kind of like uncomfortable as it is sleeping on this ground, you've really gotten used to sleeping in the bed upstairs. So like you're just like so not comfortable and not sleeping well. This conversation wakes you up, and standing in the doorway next to you is this man, and just outside is this strange flesh creature.
I look over at Brockaw
Mhm.
and over at the fancy man, and then back at Brockaw. Concern, of course, washes over his face. And he slowly stands.
Oh
And,
God, you have an infestation. And
but I didn't run
the
away.
man just kind of like gestures at Decim, and he's talking to Brocka and says, "You have an infestation. You should take care of this."
What language is this in?
Chilzari. Unless Brocka doesn't speak Chilzari.
Brocka does.
Okay.
Dedham looks super blank. No idea what is being said, but he does look really concerned.
So I think I'll say, sir, maybe it would be best if you came inside. We talked about this further.
Yes, that would be fine. So he'll wait for you to escort him in.
Yes, because Brocka is very afraid that he's all of a sudden going to do something to Decim, and I'm like,
So meanwhile, Friede has made it to the cellar with his bucket of water. He's going to stick his arm in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you plunge your arm into it, and it feels cool. Like, again, you don't really feel cold in the way that other
Right.
creatures do. It feels refreshing.
Okay.
What did you bring down here for light?
Nothing. I figured I'd kind of like leave the door open and go as far as the light takes me.
Sure.
Like not too far in.
So then to like look at it, you can like hold up your arm between you and the door, essentially,
Yeah.
to see. You notice those cracks are still there.
I will take another look at the thing, and at the mark on my arm to see if there's like any connection, maybe? Like, are there more cracks around the mark?
You don't see that it's spread or anything has changed now.
Okay, then we will continue to do research on that at some point. But right now, if my like genius plan of sticking my arm in water didn't fix it, then we'll go back and like start the day.
I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, you try a thing, if it doesn't work, you try another thing later.
That's right. So you're gonna head upstairs after that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Pratchya, you hear voices downstairs?
I'm gonna get up at this point.
Okay.
I don't trust anybody right now.
So Friede and Pratchya, you both end up arriving around the same time. Whoop. As you walk through this door.
Yeah, there we go.
And Braca has walked in with Zahir. And
Oh, no.
standing behind Zahir is this creature. So, Pratchya, do a history check at advantage.
Oh, yay. Okay, let's see. Here we go.
And she's just kind of like walking around on these like hand legs. It's weird. And Zahir has like, while Braca is talking to him, Zahir is looking at Dr. Zagini's stuff over there. And he notices like the one jar that's left of the sunblock. He says, I've heard this does wonders. How much are you selling it for?
I'm going to look at Decim.
Yeah.
Decim is busy wringing his hands at the door and seems incredibly concerned and is glancing at the rest of the party, looking for something, and then looking back at the guy with the fancy clothes. Decim does not seem to be at all concerned about the weird, crazy beast woman.
Yeah.
That does not seem to faze him at all, but he does seem a little bit on edge about something.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Pratchya, you realize that creature is a centaur, literally made by, I don't want to even call them sorcerers, warpers of the flesh here in Shelzar,
Okay.
for to be pleasure creatures.
Okay. Great.
And you notice that she is like very, very pale, and
Yeah.
Zahir keeps like glancing at her while he's talking about this sunblock.
Yeah. Well, that's a lovely question. You know what? Your order is do I know him, I assume, right? I like recognize him.
Yeah,
or
I feel
not.
like you're here enough that you
Okay.
and like when he did his last order, Belkie was so ecstatic because of the amount of money that is going to bring in for the shop.
Yeah.
He is, in fact, his order is the one remaining order that the adventurers have not returned for.
Okay.
So the fact that he's here looking for it is problematic.
Yeah. Well, your order, because your order has not quite come in yet. They are still out there tracking it down. We do have a crew, a very reliable crew, tracking it down for you. I'll give you a deal on this lovely bit of a sunblock. Usually it goes for about 20, but I'll cut it down to 10, half price for you.
He kind of stares at you for a moment, pondering. He actually just nods and agrees. He says, I appreciate your customer service.
We are here to please.
So do you know when the visage will be returned?
Hopefully sooner rather than later. Because you're such a valued customer, we may actually send out a secondary support team just in case. If it doesn't arrive sooner rather than later, sometimes these things happen, as you can imagine, where a team takes a little bit longer than you would expect. So we do have support teams that go out to assist and speed along the process.
Awesome. He seems pleased with this, but he does say, I do need this before the Night of Masks. You understand, correct?
Yes, of course. When is that coming up exactly? I'm losing track of days. We're doing so much business here.
He kind of eyes you again, this time not so favorably.
Okay.
He says, it is in less than 3 months now.
Yes, of course. We will absolutely have it here in less than 3 months. We will have it hopefully to you within 2 months, if not before. Is 2 months okay?
That would be preferable, yes.
Okay, yes. We will try to get it to you as quickly as possible. Again, because you do want it before the Night of Masks, we will send out the support team sooner rather than later. And again, we want to make sure that you are happy, because as long as you are happy, we are happy.
He nods, and he turns and starts walking from the store. He says, Zenade, come. And the centaur turns and follows him out. Anything before he leaves?
Goodbye. Did I take the gold?
You did, yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, you made money today. Yay!
Yay!
But you are now officially out of Dr. Zagini's ultimate sun darkening stopper. Oh, guess what? All right, who hasn't rolled yet? Is it Chaz?
No,
Chaz,
I
did you
rolled.
roll? John hasn't rolled yet.
John, yeah.
God damn it! I'm trying really hard not to.
Come on, you
So roll
just sold some of your stuff.
and it's on. Okay. Braca,
It's not a one.
Braca, make a dex save.
Okay. Give me a moment.
So, Braca, as you're standing there and you're watching this centaur sway out of the door, there's just something so mesmerizing about her movement that you don't hear the cracking under your feet. And the tile you're standing on doesn't so much as like just fall through the floor as it tilts. And you just fall through and land in the cellar.
Yeah. Okay.
But you only take 2 bludgeoning from the impact, so that's good. You were able to like kind of reach out as you fell and slow your descent, and you land heavily on your feet, and you hear that like creaking strain of your tendons, and you stand up and you look, and that like pillar that you've built is just kind of swaying above you. What do you do?
So the pillar is swaying above me.
Yeah, so it's definitely not touching the wood beam. Sorry, that was holding the floor up.
All right, so
it is shifted, and it looks like it's going to come tumbling down.
So clearly, it's going to come tumbling down. I think at this point, Braca's first concern is making sure it doesn't fall on him because we already had one head injury in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, that's true. So do you want
And-
to run to get out of the way, or
Yeah, I think he's going to run to get out of the way because he knows he's already going to be shamed as soon as he goes upstairs. So if he could more like kind of gallop casually than
sure.
run in a complete panic.
So what I'm going to do is roll a D8 to see which direction it falls. If it lands on a 1, it falls towards you, and you'll have to make another save.
All right.
Ready?
All right.
Creak. Everything falls off to the side. You hear boxes splintering open, but you make it out without it falling towards you. Upstairs, everyone hears this just like cacophony of sound and things breaking, and you might have heard a neigh come from downstairs,
Oh,
or that might just be the
no.
DM being punny.
So as Brock is about to get to the top of the stairs, if it
Mhm.
sounds like everything's fallen down, he's going to turn back around and try and pick up something that's clearly broken on the floor.
Okay.
Just pick it up. I'm looking for something that seems like the most faulty piece of junk on the floor.
Do you want like an object or like one of the crates?
An object, preferably. If there's a crate, I'll take that too. Or either one.
So most of the stuff down here was like furniture that was upstairs. So when
Oh.
the crates fell, it fell on like one of the display tables and smashed that. So
Okay,
there's like a table leg laying there.
Yeah, I'll take a table leg then.
Okay. And then you head out.
Mhm. Yeah, and then I'm heading back upstairs.
Okay. So you walk back upstairs and walk in the back door.
It was this table's fault. It was the table's fault. I know I should have been able to fix it, but I couldn't. But still, it's the table.
I'll tell you what,
Okay.
fate has not been kind to you guys yet.
No.
It's, it's okay. You did your best, as we have all done our best the past few weeks. I just think that maybe what we're good at is maybe not this. And we should potentially try to reapproach our strategy for the shop. Who's with me? Yes? Yes?
Yeah, you are not wrong.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
raised the
Everybody,
table
everybody
leg.
raise your hand.
Yeah, hands up.
Everybody raise your hand.
I raised the table leg.
Dustin, raise your hand. There we go. So our floor is falling apart. I don't know how, as marvelous as the engineering was, that table obviously gave out, and I don't know how long it's gonna last. We lost the statue. We got to get that mask. How about we choose to actually question how difficult is the mission for the mask?
So can you open that?
Yeah, here, let me get that right
So
now.
I am also going to open that so
Check that out.
the viewers can see it.
Yeah,
There.
my dog barking now.
We won't add that as another thing for fate to mess you up. So what she's referring to, in case you missed it last time, is this list of goods that Belkie had written before he left. Essentially, it's how he keeps track of what goods are being sought after by people that live in the area, you know, that come to his shop. The first row is the item itself. The name under that that's indented in is the client. The word, or the off to the side of the item itself, it'll say like Unknown or Gladiator Catacombs.
Yep.
Those are the locations, or for a lot of these, the lack of locations, like no one knows where this item is.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of you need to go out and try and find clues as to where those things are. So and then there's also like a little bit, it'll say like somebody's crew or somebody can handle this or whatever. You Pratchya know kind of like the crew's abilities. Like if Yawen is being sent for something, it's pretty easy to go get that thing. If Krelm has been sent to get something, Belkie wouldn't trust Yawen to get it, but he wouldn't waste the money that Orban's crew charges to go get that thing. Orban's crew is the one that like goes out and really gets into the dangerous stuff. So looking at the list, the Visage of Hadaris that Zahir El Roof wants, Orban's crew is actually the one that is out looking for it right now.
Okay. So we do have crew out there, but they haven't reported back at all.
Correct.
Okay. And would they have normally reported back at this point?
That part is, it's hard for you to really know that because it is, unless like, so if Belkie was like, hey, so there's this object that is in this building that's in Shelzar, we know it's there, I'm going to send a crew to go excavate it or look for it or whatever, that tends to be much shorter. But these unknowns can really take a long time because if they're in Albadia, for example, that's on the other side of the continent, so it really can change between jobs. You might be able to find some more information as like researching it to figure out where Orban went, to figure out how long it should take him to get back.
Gotcha. All right. Would stuff like that maybe be in Belkie's office, or would that be something I need to go elsewhere to find out?
Both are possibilities. So you can look in Belkie's office to see if he has any other notes. If he doesn't, then you can go looking for people who know Orban, or you might have contacts in the city. You have a dwarven friend, is that correct?
I do have a dwarven friend,
Am I remembering this correctly? She was an adventurer at one time, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so she might be a valid option as far as like, hey, where do you think this thing might be? Or do you know where Orban went? Because you adventurers might know each other, that kind of thing.
All right, so everybody, my proposal first is to make sure that that visage gets here in time for the festival, and then we should go out ourselves. And the catacombs are really nearby, they're under the city. The falchion would be a really valid target, and then maybe we can get some money in so that if we don't get that visage in time, I can use some of that money to do something, a piece in some fashion. What does everybody say? Does that sound good? Would you prefer just to do something else? I would like to hear your thoughts.
Falchion sounds like a good idea.
Okay. How about you, Friede?
Yeah, that sounds like a solid plan to me. We can do a little reconnaissance. We can check out these catacombs. We need to check out the catacombs anyway.
Yeah. Destin, would you like to go to the catacombs to get money?
Desm is going to process this for a second. It looks like wheels are turning in his head. And then like relief just washes over his face. And he nods and smiles in a typical Desm sort of way, which is a really horrific looking face. And he says, yes, Desm is happy to still be of service.
Okay. Sounds like we have a plan.
Nice.
Let's start planning our mission to the catacombs.
And we should probably close up with the the massive hole in the middle of the floor now.
Yeah.
It's because we've sold pretty much all our inventory at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need to mention anything else.
Yep, we're doing repairs. Is the sign still there? I'm gonna go out to check
The sign is still there, yeah.
Hey!
And Pratchya, you remember that like Najita could potentially like watch the store, especially if you guys aren't here getting paid to be employees. If you're out being adventurers, then she can actually be paid to be there instead of having to moonlight 2 jobs.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, I'll let her know,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna go back in the store.
So everyone stands around and makes this momentous decision to go out and try and find items, and that's where we'll end for the week.
Yeah.
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 Man, sorry my dog was not your friend this week. So let's do a round of introductions at the end of all things here. Let's start with Chaz. Tell us who you are and what you do.
So I am Chaz, and I study narrative, music, and interactive media at Colorado State. And I'm playing Friede, who is really confused right now.
Yay, I'm doing my job well. Catie, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Catie. I play Pratchya. I work with brides and grooms to create weddings for a living, but I also am an RPG writer and just a writer in general.
Nice.
It's very nice to play this game.
Excellent. Thanks. And John, tell us about yourself. Who are you and who are you playing?
I'm John. I play Desm. Desm is super happy to still have a job. I work as a distiller in the whiskey industry, and I like to do nerd stuff.
So I have to ask, was out of character, was Desm afraid that he was being fired because he had been tied up, like the door had been closed?
He was afraid he was being sold, and he wasn't really sure about this new master. He didn't want to be a weird flesh horse that looked kind of weird and uncomfortable.
Yeah, you got to wonder where they get the raw materials. So
yeah. I mean, it could be worse, I suppose. But flesh horse rat probably not ideal.
Yeah.
Not ideal. No.
That's why Braca let him inside very quickly, because he was saying some very nasty things about you.
Wouldn't know. It's a complicated language, you see.
It's
so
true.
Sorry.
And speaking of Braca, Noah, tell us about yourself. Who are you and who are you playing?
All right. I'm Noah. I am playing Braca. I do various things with statistics, but I'm also an RPG writer, and happy to share that the latest thing that I wrote, Master of None, which is a guide to various types of multi-classing, is in the top 11 on DM's Guild right
That's
now.
awesome.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Well done.
I will so I'm going to share everyone's
You better do
contact information, like all of your links to your pages and stuff on the show notes, but I will make sure to find the link to that and share that as well, because that is
Excellent.
It's an awesome character, or a player side of things.
Yes.
I mean, DMs can use it to an extent.
Yeah,
great
players
player
and DMs. One of the things that we did is try to come up with some ideas for, say, if you're, multi-classing, say, a monk and a warlock. Would there be something special to that relationship that would give you, both some, like a neat little ability with also a downside? And also, one of the main things that I wrote was rules for just buying everything through points instead of having any particular classes.
Oh, nice. So it's like you can be a magic wielding fighter without being a Eldritch Knight.
Yes.
Interesting. I like it. Awesome. I guess I should say who I am. I am Jeremy Hochhalter. I am the Dungeon Master for the Curiosity Cache. I own and operate Wanderer's Haven Publications. You can find me at WHPublications.com. On Twitter, it's WHPUBS. On Facebook, it's also WHPUBS. We're here every Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, to see these shop employees become adventurers in the near future. So come back next week. Follow, like, subscribe if you are listening to this afterwards. And if you have any suggestions, we are always down to hear what you have to say. And hooray for no echo this week. If you listened to the last 2 weeks, sorry about that. Katie's audio was a little weird this week, so we'll figure that out before next week. And
Yep.
we'll see you then.
Yep.
So everybody have a good week, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.